Hi, we're here to talk about sheet music and backing tracks today. So for those of you who somehow discovered Cher's song, I'm a Carpenter.
Joseph's song.
Yes. If you found that new or like, oh, I want to buy some sheet music for that. Well, there are so many choices. If you go to Sheet Music Plus or simply liturgical music, you'll find it there. At Sheet Music Plus, we have at this point, we have 19 different things you can buy there
For
that song.
Yes.
If you searched at Sheet Music Plus, you search Klosner, Carpenter, just that, you'll find 19 different things.
Yes, and
There's the list.
for those of you who happen to be listening who are here just because you know us and you're not even aware of I'm a Carpenter, that's what this video is all about. It's about a song that I wrote about Joseph and basically his plight as being a father and having to take care of his family. And we are happy to report and humbled and honored to let you know that it's being sung now in 6 different continents. Ooh. And that's pretty awesome. So if you haven't heard the song, take a moment and go listen to it. And if you're interested in having your choir perform it, or your soloist, or whatever your configuration is at your parish, or your symphony, or your chorale, we're here to tell you all about the sheet music.
So, and just last week I was explaining to someone who had bought the PGV, which is the piano guitar vocal, and wanted to know, what if our choir joins in? And I said, what you bought is great for the soloist or great for the accompanist, but you would be missing the choral part. So there's so many components that you can find, and that's what we're here to tell you about today.
Right.
So let's start with the backing tracks.
Okay, well, here's a interesting situation that we happen to be in this year. We are, if you didn't know this already, we're in an international pandemic with COVID. and we're composers, but we're also choir directors. And so we know both sides of this. But I know our choirs, as soon as COVID hit, we pretty much shut everything down because there were so many choir members around, the country and around the world who were getting COVID. Mm-hmm. And we immediately shut the choirs down. But there's so many lovely songs that are out there. Just sound better with a choir. So I had a pastor contact me. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, and said, we really want this song at our church and for Christmas. And is there any possibility that you have backing tracks for this? Because they didn't have their choir in the middle of COVID, and we do. He said, I think I'd like the orchestra with the choir that you people used. And I said, yes, we have tracks for that. So that particular track is called our backing track with choir. And then we have another track that is, this would be good for a person who doesn't want the choir or has a few people already in place to sing and doesn't need the choir parts or doesn't want the choir parts, but needs the instrumentation. And that would be your backing track.
No choir,
but it would still have all the instrumentation to it. And then our third track that we have will be perfect for when choirs are back in session, which hopefully is very soon, within the next year, by next Christmas maybe, 2021. And it's a split track where you actually have on one side of the speakers, you have all the vocal parts, and on the other side of the
not the
speaker,
lead, but just the choir.
Yeah, just the choir parts. And this would be for rehearsing, because there's no reverb or effects on those vocals, so you can just turn your speakers to one side and you hear just the vocals, or you turn it this way and you hear just the instrumentation, or you keep it in the middle and it's divided. So you got your A-B right there with your vocals and instrumentation.
And one extra thing you can do with that, let's just say that you wanted just a little help of the choir for your live choir. Mm-hmm. You can actually turn it so that it's maybe 3/4 towards the instrumentation and just a little bit of the choir happening. It's just enough to guide your choir or help your choir.
Right.
So that's an option.
Yeah.
That's the split track. It was a kind of a new concept for us when we put it out. But you can also use it for rehearsal. So that's the
Absolutely.
backing tracks. So just so you know that they're there, and you can get them at Amazon and iTunes as downloads. You can hear them at Spotify and what?
Whatever your favorite performance
Whatever those
platforms
streaming
are.
places are. But also we have the backing tracks all now at Sheet Music Plus.
And they will be available on our website in the
at
next
some
month.
point, yeah. And, so if any of the things that we mentioned tonight are not on Simply Liturgical Music, you can just hound them and tell them that you want it. Okay, so now let's get to the sheet music.
Yes.
So let's just imagine someone who's buying music for a church or a school or just some kind of institution or just for yourself. I mean, the ones that are buying it for the big group, you could have, orchestration, like strings, etc., or you could just be the leader of a choir with a piano and guitar. So that's what we're breaking down for you. So the main thing to buy for choirs, let's say, is the octavo. And for the octavo, it has all the parts for the singers, but you can choose whether you want piano and chords or whether you want just the singer's part. And I think it has chords with it. But that way, fewer papers. And if your singers don't care about having piano parts in their face, you can choose the one that doesn't have the chords. So there's that with the octavo. The alternate to that is the TTBB. So that's written up for tenor, bass, or baritone bass. So if you have an all-male choir, you can buy that version. I don't think that there's piano on that one, but either way, it doesn't matter. There's that version just if you've got an all-male choir. So then let's strip that down to what if you don't have a choir. If you're just a solo player and you want to sing this song for church and you play piano, you can get the PGV, piano, guitar, vocal, which is the same as when you buy like a book of, pop rock sheet music. If you were to buy a Billy Joel or an Elton John book, it would be a PGV kind of a thing. There are other things kind of like lead sheets. They call them lead sheets, and it's also exactly the same as a fake book. And the fake book has a melody line in sheet music and the chords above it, and the words, but it does not have any piano score to it. That's what I like to buy.
Yeah.
And
I'm a chord girl too.
Yeah. And so sometimes, and of course it takes up fewer pages. I like that part. That's actually a big seller to me.
Yes.
So that's a lead sheet. We have the lead sheet in two different forms. So that is, where the chords are either D capo 3 or it's just straight the key of F. Now, as a piano player, I want the F, and as a guitar player, if you're going to capo it,
it's either. Yeah.
You can choose. So there's that. Before we get into all the other things, I want to bring up to someone who is a music director or choir director at a church or in some kind of institution. First of all, write down your budget and just figure out what you can afford and what to buy. And the second thing is, this is a list of all the different people you'll be buying for. And each one of these, you're going to buy something different. So if you want to press pause, you can. We'll wait. No. Okay. We're done. Okay. Hey, you're back. Okay. Anyway, so you're going to want to buy for your soloist, for your piano accompanist, your guitar accompanists, the directors of the different choirs. You might have one or two different directors. I mean, think about if you're at church, there might be different groups for different masses or whatever, or different services. Then there's the choir members, SATB, or there's the TTBB choir members. Then there's violinists, and there's violists. We actually have different things for that. And cellists, and something for the bass guitarists, and something for the drummers. So those are all different things that we have available. So you have to kind of break apart all the people that you're responsible for, that you're buying for, and it could be even the kids at the school if the school is connected. Keep in mind all those. Start, add up those little subtotals, and then we'll talk about the rest of this sheet music.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say along the way?
No, but in the budget, we have to make sure that they are aware of CCLI and one license.
Talk about that.
Okay. Well, CCLI and one license, most churches are already members of CCLI and or one license, which is a licensing organization. So as music moves away from books or is supplemented with screens where lyrics are shown, or where you have the weekly bulletins where they print music in there for, like, they'll print the responsorial psalm or things like that. For any one of those things, you're required to get a license for that. Well,
funeral programs and wedding programs.
Wedding programs, funeral programs, yes. But legally, you're not allowed to print those unless you have a license. As so many things are moving away from books and more toward digital. Like, a lot of choir members use their iPads now and read their music from their iPads. Well, since sheet music isn't being purchased, digital licenses compensates for that. So that's how that works. So you just got to make sure that is part of your budget. It's a yearly fee based on the amount of people that are in your church or organization. That's how composers and songwriters are compensated.
And two things, a clarification: sheet music is being purchased, but you don't have to, like, once you purchase our stuff, you don't have to purchase it again like a yearly sheet music purchase. I mean, once you have it, you've got it. Right. But then it's the annual, the usage of that becomes like the back end or something.
Right.
Like
and with digital downloads, you download that PDF and you print those off yourself.
Yeah, glad you brought that up too. And for any of you that are you have no idea what we're talking about for CCLI and one license, we'll probably end up doing a video that kind of explains that. Will. But I'll say this at least. CCLI covers some of the songs that you might use that are in kind of the contemporary Christian world, and praise and worship kind of stuff. And one license covers more of the liturgical and Catholic,
Episcopalian,
maybe,
anything that's liturgical.
Yeah, so that style of music. So St. Louis Jesuits and whatever would be in one license, and Amy Grant and Chris Tomlin and whatever will be in the CCLI realm. We are actually affiliated with both because we kind of, our music kind of fits both realms. Right. So you can find us in either or. All right. So that's the overview.
Yes.
All right. So let's get on to the last thing about the different configurations of your choirs and groups. So as you've added up the number of people that you're buying for in different categories, I'll just start with, like, if you're a soloist, you're gonna decide between the PGV, which is the piano, guitar, vocal, as I said before, or the lead sheet. And the lead sheet can be in either, capo 3 or not, So there's that. And you choose, that works for a soloist, okay? It also works for the accompanist, for a piano player or the guitar player for that song. So that's what you would buy. Now, an accompanist, or maybe sometimes this is something I would even buy, it's just the words and the chords. If I know the song really well and I don't need to see the music and I just want it on one page, I will buy like the chords just over the words. So there is that option as well. So just so you know that is there for those of you who already know the song, but you just want to have the words in front of you or the chords. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, okay. Sure it does. Okay, so then let's talk about choirs. Choirs, I think I said this before, you just decide between the octavo with piano or the octavo without piano. And again, fewer pages without piano. And Sheet Music Plus has a minimum, that's just their standard. The minimum is 10 choir members to buy for, or whatever it is you're buying. They have a minimum well, just on the choral stuff is what the minimum is. So that's at 10. So if you have 8 people, well, whatever, you have to buy extra copies. You only get one download, and it has to do with how many copies that you're going to make. But the thing is, if you've got like 100 members of your choir, well, and we've had a few of those, that's you mark 100, and it works out to like less than $2 a person, and I tell you, they have sales all the time.
Yes,
it's anywhere between $1.89 and down to $1.59, per person.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cheap to get this, and again, you only have to buy it once.
Inexpensive.
So. Oh, there's it. Yeah. Cheap. Okay. So anyway, that's what you do for your choirs. Okay. So for the accompanists, the piano player, I think I said this before, would like a PGV version, and the guitarist will like the choice of a lead sheet with or without capo. So just figure that out with whoever's playing. They're going to go, yeah, I want that. A bass guitarist, there's going to be 2 choices there. They could buy the lead sheet but don't get the one with the capo. For a bass player, you want to get the one in the key of F. Or they can, maybe they can just get the chord one. You'd have to talk to your bass player about that. But there's another choice for a bass player. It's more of a symphonic version. And that's for the bass players that are in symphonies, totally understand sheet music. They're used to counting measures and all that. That one is set up in a very symphonic setting. So if you look up bass guitar, that's what you'll find. Otherwise, just get the lead sheet for them. Okay? Yeah. I hope that makes sense. We're just a few
string
more
section.
Here. Okay, so the string section. This is we're excited that we have this many things for it.
I know.
We have a violins one you can buy, and that has like 3 parts that so 3 different notes that violins can play. So you just buy the number of copies is how many players you have. Okay, and you could have a whole string section like 20 of them. I don't know, or you might have just like 1 or 2 players, and they can choose the notes. That's our violins. Okay, if you happen to have in your band or your group a keyboardist, an extra keyboardist aside from your piano player, and they've got an electronic keyboard that has like string pads, they can follow the violins music.
Yes.
And play those chords
yes.
In a string pad sound. There's also a viola part. So for someone who plays viola, not violin, they can get that one, and it's different notes, okay, than what the violin plays. And finally, the cello. That speaks to the heart. We had a wonderful cellist on our recording, David Downing. Oh my gosh!
Yes, he was
Such
incredible. Oh my
passionate
gosh.
playing.
Yes.
What is written? The bottom part has the cello, the main cello part, and that can be done by multiple cellists. Okay, and it's written down as celli for plural. And then on top of that is the solo cellist. So that is for someone who does slightly different stuff. Sometimes they join in with the other ones. Sometimes they have a special thing going. So that's what is on that. So you just buy that sheet music according to how many cello players you have. And one of those lucky people gets to do the solo. Okay. So the drummer, I think you can buy the drum music. Again, this is a symphonic setting. So for someone who probably was in band or was a percussion major in college, these are the people that you're going to want to buy that drum thing for, okay? Because it's got all the measures and it's written out in sheet music for drummers. Now
that drum thing.
Did I? Okay. Obviously, I was not.
Sorry,
I was not a percussion major or a drum major in college. Okay. If your drummer is more of a pop rock drummer, they're going to want to just hear the recording, and
they'll fall right into the groove.
Right,
yes.
And they're going to look. They might want to look at the chord chart, a lead sheet, But you have to talk to the drummer to see what makes sense to him.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and finally, for the directors of all of this, well, you can buy the director score. There's a huge director score for this, but if you're if you're just a director of a choir and maybe a piano and guitar and that kind of simple stuff, you only need to follow probably the octavo, and you choose whether you want a piano or not. So that covers everybody.
Yes.
Woo.
Except,
Except.
and I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. If you do decide to do I Am a Carpenter, you have to get a video of it, and you have to post it on YouTube, because
It makes her cry.
it makes me cry to see this song being performed by so many different people, and it just tickles me to no end. Spread that love by posting a video and letting the whole world see what you've done, because it's just lovely what's been happening with this song, and how all these videos out there are reaching so many people in so many different ways. And I feel blessed and honored and so grateful that you are choosing to perform it with your group, with your choir, with your symphony, with your, chorale. So again, thank you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this helps. We're providing this video just because this particular song has just got so many parts to it, and it's taken on a life of its own, and we love that you're a part of the life that it's taking on.
I will probably, in the comments of this video, put this list. I know you can't read it here, but this list and the item numbers of what each one of these is. But just know that you can go to Sheet Music Plus and just search Klosner Carpenter, and you'll find all of these.
And eventually, these are all going to be on our website as well. So right now, if you haven't heard the song and you're interested now from watching this, if you're watching this without having heard it, go find it on YouTube. It's called I Am a Carpenter, parenthesis, Joseph Song, parentheses, and then and by Cher and Gene
nice,
Klosner.
sang it,
and I wrote it with his voice in mind. So and he just
there's a lyric video.
Yes, there's a lyric video.
And there's tons
Lots
of
of
different,
videos. Lots of videos from
live,
people all
from
over
us,
the world.
from other people.
Yes, and yeah, enjoy. And I can't wait to see your video when you do it. All right, we hope you have a merry, beautiful, blessed Christmas, and thanks again. Mwah! See you soon.
Bye.